Today we have Stephen G. Waller and his wife Jane here with us today to discuss his new book, A Moving Meditation, Life on a Cape Cod Kettle Pond. We are going to be talking all about kettle ponds. I took a little sneak peek at these slides and they're amazing. And I just want to give a great big thank you to Stephen for allowing us to Zoom and record this to upload to our YouTube channel, because it really does help people who can't be here in person, people in nursing homes, people just wanting to attend but not be able to in person. So it means a lot. So without further ado, I would like to give the floor to Stephen G. Waller.
Well, thank you, Amy, and thank you for hosting us. My name is Steve Waller. I live in Osterville, and this book, we have a few copies here. Pardon me. All proceeds are going to both cleanup water on Cape Cod. We're not keeping any of the sales proceeds, if that matters to you. As you can tell, my voice has been damaged from
Out of the slide.
cancer treatment, and I apologize for that. But let me assure you, I won't be offended if you ask me to repeat or slow down so you can hear what I said. I'm aware it's very adequate. My goal is to inspire you as Lord God has inspired me to get up and enjoy the great adventure that is Cape Cod. And to do, as Thoreau said, to live deliberately. So when we get to the end of our lives, we won't realize we haven't really lived. Briefly about my wife Jane and we met as college students in Boston in the late 1760s, and were married here in Osterville because her parents lived here. And then we went off and became physicians and joined the Air Force and lived in Asia and Europe and remote San Antonio and Washington, D.C. And eventually I taught in the military medical school in Bethesda, Maryland. And so my voice was lost in 2017. And when that happened, I realized my teaching career was over. And I said to Jane, let's move back to Osterville. Well, our hearts have been the whole time. And we're very happy that we did. We have 3 daughters and 2 granddaughters, and they're spread across 9 time zones. My original inspiration and love of freshwater ponds came about the time this picture was taken in 1970. I was in the Boy Scouts. My dad was not known me, and my brother was in the same troop. And we went to northern Minnesota to the boundary waters and spent 2 weeks in the middle of nowhere paddling those lakes, fishing for northern pike, and enjoying each other. Yeah. Jane's going to read a short piece out of the book about that.
Awesome. Start with that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, this is from the preface. I share Olson's profound reverence for the Boundary Waters wilderness and the big lakes along the Canada-Minnesota border. He spent most of his 20th century life living on Burnside Lake, west of Ely. He refers to his canoe trip partners as voyageurs. In return, they call him bourgeois, a title of respect given by the original voyagers to their leaders. 50 years ago, I paddled and portaged those original voyagers' routes and magical lakes in the Hudson's Bay watershed on both sides of the international border, with my Boy Scout troop, including my younger brother and my dad, an adult leader. Both Dad and Jeff are gone now. They would agree that we struggled during those 2 weeks with fierce headwinds, feisty northern pike, and finding the best campsite, but with few of the tedious details of civilized life. The rich memories of those transcendent weeks are revived in a delightful way by Olson's eloquent words.
I'm referring there to Seagull Olson, who some of you may know from his writings about Northern Minnesota. And he's passed away now, but he inspired me in some ways to write this book. The title of Moving Meditation comes from the Buddhist theology of trying to remain in the moment when you're meditating. Not worried about future appointments, not worried about past historical values, but just staying right here, right now, in a mind, calm, peaceful, quiet. When I'm out in my canoe, I feel that sense of being in the moment, of being focused on right now, and not future or past issues. Jane and I live about a mile from Fraser Beach on Long Pond in Osterville. That's where these pictures are. And the book, if you get a chance to read it, I think you would find includes the philosophy of motion and of, I'm sorry for that, Aldo Leopold, Henry David Thoreau, that's what it said right here. And a gentleman named Christopher Norman, and Jane has a reading about it.
Who's next?
Yeah,
This first one.
It's
The Norwood. Okay. Another author from my library who inspires my lake experiences is Chris Norwent, who wrote The North of Our Lives and Return to the Warden's Grove, both about the Canadian Arctic and its birds and rivers. In 1977 and 78, Norwent and 5 companions canoed across northern Canada, from the Rockies to Hudson's Bay, stopping for the long Arctic winter at a remote cabin in the Barrens, north of the tree line. He returned to that cabin as an academic biologist, in the summers of 1989 to 91 to study the migrant sparrows. He offers many profound insights into wilderness life, the biology of living things, not just sparrows, and unique features of the Canadian shield ecology. While Cape Cod has few similarities with the ecologic details of that place, the analysis of Norwent is helpful to my observations around Long Pond and for ideas for this book.
I think you would agree that Cape Cod and Long Pond and Osterville are four-season spots. I'm often wished that I knew the Wampanoag name of Long Pond. And I've tried to reach out to their people and to their linguists. They have 3 or 4 very well-trained linguists reviving their language. And I haven't been able to get an answer of what the original name was. But you may know there are, I believe, 6 or 7 long ponds on Cape Cod, just in Osterville again. Moses Vineyard and Nantucket have them too. So to me, that's much too plain a name for such a lovely spot. We hope it is a Wampanoag bird, by the way. We enjoy watching the sun rise and set over Long Pond, and part of that is the hour after sunrise and the hour before sunset, when the light is coming in at a very shallow angle and turns very yellow because the atmosphere is filtering And the trees across the pond from us turn a red, bright yellow, even if it's not autumn. And it reminds me of what Vincent Van Gogh said about the light in Provence and how that inspired him and his paintings. Lone Ponds is one of 900 kettle ponds on Cape Cod. Yes, please.
Steve starts the book with chapter 1 that he titles Geology, Created in a Single Moment. And most of the chapters, maybe all the chapters, begin with a haiku poem. So this is a haiku. Low, fast-moving clouds reflected in the placid pond, genuine delight.
Kettle ponds, as Jane just read, were created in a single instant, not over a geologic time. When the ice age was ending and the ice pushed Cape Cod up like a giant bulldozer and left the debris, because that geologists call a moraine. And as the ice began to melt, it was a mile high sheet of ice. I think of that when I look out to the north some days. What it must have looked like with a mile high sheet of ice all across the north of Cape Cod. But as the ice began to melt, big pieces fell off, some as big as a city block, thousands of tons of ice. And they hit the sands of the moraine and made an indentation and then melted there and became a kettle pond. So kettle ponds all were created in a single instant, and the remains of that virtually every pond on Cape Cod is a kettle pond. Even with corporate, which isn't round like a tea kettle, has probably half a dozen big pieces of ice that came together as they melted and created the shape of the corporate. The one other thing about kettle ponds, particularly on the Cape, is they have no inlet and no outlet water supply. Where they get their water, it's not just from rain. In fact, most of it comes from the aquifer. And you may be aware that our aquifer on this part of Cape Cod is mostly under sandwich and Falmouth. And then it flows downhill toward the east, through Barnstable, and ends around Hyannis and Yarmouth. And that's how Recorford and Long Pond get their water. It comes up from the bottom, and then it leaves to the bottom to go on east. So having an inlet or an outlet is irrelevant, not necessary. In fact, as I'll show in a few minutes, we do have an inlet and an outlet on Long Pond. We have a hearing room. Some of you may know that. Probably none of you know that it passes under Route 28. Does anyone know where that is? It does. It just past the Centerville shopping mall. It goes under 28 and goes up to Recorford.
Yeah, right by Harrison,
Yeah.
Harrison Road.
But that pond, that hearing room is dark. It's artificial. It's not natural. Yes, and I picked this slide because it shows schematically what happens to create a kettle pond. So you see the big ice coming down from the north. And then it starts, as it begins to melt, big chunks fall off. and then you're buried in the grounds, the debris that comes out of the glacier, and then they turn into telephones. And this is a picture of Cape Cod from the space shuttle. And if you look carefully, you can see it looks like Swiss cheese. All those little round telephones. So here we are in Osterville. That's remote, Long Pond is just a little piece here, much smaller than that remote. That's
Chapter 10 is called Paddling, the Value of Pure Quiet. Canoe on the lake glides silently with each stroke, moving meditation.
that was my inspiration for the title. And here I am on the pond. The thing I like about the canoe over the kayak is first, I'm by myself, but you can have one person kayak. Second, it has a seat. If I get on in the kayak, it's like getting seated on the floor. It's hard to get back up for me. Canoe I can get in and out of very easily. The other thing I like about the canoe is one paddle. To me, two paddles is too much bigger, too big, is too much splashing, dripping. That's not, to me, that disrupts my peaceful nature. So this is the way I like to go in the whole man's method. This is another haiku that I wrote. I'll read it to you. Places close to heaven, ancient cells had concepts of their thin places. In the Celtic theology, there were certain places in nature that the Celts felt heaven and earth were very close to each other. They called them thin places. And Glastonbury is a place like that, if you've been there in southern England. To me, Long Pond is a thin place. We have the usual Cape Cod vegetation on Long Pond, oaks and pines, and some red maples. And some of them, as this picture shows, the pines that sit up too close to the edge, that tilt, and go all the way horizontal, as this one has. There are about 4 pine trees along the north shore of Long Pond that have done this, and several of them, the branches stuck in, but I can get underneath them in my canoe. 2 years ago, I was foolishly out in the canoe while there was ice on the pond, and the weather was about 40 degrees, and the water was about 40 degrees. And I went to go and paddle underneath one of those, and one of the branches was going to hit me. I put my hand up to move myself. I was underwater just like that. It was astonishing. But luckily, I could stand up. It wasn't very deep. I dragged my boat over the shore, emptied it out, and paddled home and straight up again in the shower. No harm before us, but
It was January.
it was January. And among the vegetation, there are a couple of mysteries that I still don't know the solution to. One is several spots in the bottom of the pond have what looks like paths, like garden paths, through the vegetation, completely bare. I wondered, my first thought was maybe a turtle swept it off. But I wrote to the professor of turtles at UMass, and he said he wasn't aware that they ever did that. So I still have that mystery to solve. Also, there are places where the bottom turf has been torn off the bottom and has come up to float on the surface. I don't know, again, if that is from an animal or if the roots just get right and let go. We have a lot of a weed called quillwort.
It's quillwort is the name of it.
Quillwort. We have a lot of that in the pond. And about this time of year, the leaves die and it releases from its bulb, from its core, and floats on the surface, creates big mats of grass. And that was a mystery to me for a while, but now I understand the lifetime of that vegetation. We have enormous amounts of wildlife on North Pond as through the year. Our ospreys are just returning. Now, I have not seen one on our pond, but they've been reported in other places on the trip. So I know they're coming back. We have otters and muskrats, jakes on otter last week, coming up the herring run. And we have river herring, which I'll talk about in a minute. And we have suncakes, the perch, that in June make a round nest on the bottom of the pond in the sand. And when they do that, the male does that. He comes in and brushes all the leaves away, creates a bare patch, and then he stays there and guards the nest and hopes to attract a female to come and lay her eggs in the bare patch. He then inseminates them and guards the eggs until the fry are a few days old. Then he shears them away and abandons the nest. But every year I see about 100 of those perch nests, sunfish nests, around the edge of North Pond, little round bare patches. We have herons, both the red blue herons, but we also have the black brown night heron, green herons, east-duck robins. This time of year we see a few lerns. We had a red-throated lern last week. We see mergansers have buffleheads. There were 7 buffleheads on the pond yesterday. We didn't see an eagle. One day I was watching the pond, and out of nowhere came an eagle, snatched the fish, and flew off. If I'd been looking the other direction for 10 seconds, I would have missed you. But definitely was not an osprey. And in the winter when we have ice, the muskrats will sometimes climb up in the ice with the mussel shells and eat the mussels on the ice and then leave the shell. And that's what this picture is. About 30 or 40 mussel shells that have been left there by the muskrat. He can't eat while he's in the water. He has to either come to the shore or get up on the ice. And the shore is littered with mussel shells. But those were left on the ice That's a couple years ago. Once or twice we've seen tracks of the otters going across the pond. But yeah, again, this is on the ice, top size. That's the otter. Yeah, it reminds me of da. As I said, we also are fortunate to host a herring run, which carries the name Centerville River, just like the salt marsh behind Grayville is the Centerville River. And this is really a ditch that was dug in 1867 by Civil War veterans, probably the Bush Service Administration project. And you can see from the photos, this is from the pond looking down toward Grayville. This is me, I'm standing on the stump that we use. And I sometimes I stand there when the herring are running to count the herring as they go by. And in April and May, they're migrating up from the ocean to spawn in Long Pond. And last year we had over 10,000 that were counted. We send those numbers to the state, and their statistician extrapolates to the full count that we missed. He thought we had 200,000 herring altogether from based on our count. And Jane and I, our Labrador, were featured in the Barnstable Patriot last year for our herring counting activities. The thing that's different about our herring run than most of the other 20 or so herring runs on Cape Cod is that our herring come at night. They don't come in the day. You can stand out there all day and not see one. But if you come back at sunrise, dozens, hundreds sometimes are run by. As I said, it's not really a river. I grew up in Missouri, and I know the Missouri River. This doesn't compute. Well, I call it more of a brook or a stream. But it's often a foot deep, maybe 2 feet deep, 10 feet wide. This is our property here. And they're not Atlantic herring. There's lots of different herring, but there are some ocean-going herring called Atlantic herring that are the main fish that are caught. But river herring are 2 species, alewife and blueback. And they're very specific about when they come up the herring run. The alewife could come any day now, usually about April 1st, when the water is 51 degrees Fahrenheit. Today it was 48. The bluebacks wait another week or two till it's 57. The alewives go into the pond to spawn. The bluebacks spawn in the herring run. And they do lots of splashing. It's like a continuous orgasm, I guess. And they're splashing. The males, when the males bump the female, she releases the eggs. And then they inseminate them in the water. You know, when we think about geologic time, it's more than we can deal with. But herring genus is probably 2 200 times older than Cape Cod itself. So they've been doing this since rivers immemorial. In fact, many of the original rivers that herring farmers spawned in are now well held on the continental shelf under 200 or 400 feet of water, of seawater. We don't even know where they are. We don't know if the North Pond was originally starts with shoreline, whose descendants come back, or if it came from herring that got confused and went up the wrong game and started a population. About 5% of them didn't confuse it, brought the wrong one. 95% returned to the place where they were really small. And this is a brief picture of a county, shows you which days had big counts and which days had none. And this was from 3 years ago. And last year we had a big count. 2022 was less. Why it varies, I don't know. I do know that the state marine fisheries department is worried that the big trawlers have taken too many river herring out in the ocean. Since 2006, it's been illegal in Massachusetts to catch any of these herring because the numbers were so low. Jane's best friend from high school used to come to Long Pond when she was a child with her parents, and she remembers being in the herring run right there with millions going by her. We don't have that anymore. And then later in the year, usually in the autumn, when the fry gets to be 2 or 3 inches long, they go down into the ocean to begin their lives. It takes them about 3 years to mature, and then they come back. And the nice salmon can only come 1 time and die. The herring return, and if they're not killed by a herring gull or an osprey, they come back several times to spawn. And those are all the fry. And you can see a few of them right there. We do have a challenge on North Pond and Cape Cod, and that is the algae blooms. North Pond has had a few weeks per month each summer when the pond is closed to swimming. And it's particularly dangerous for pests that have Labrador. The algae are an ancient simple form of life and actually created oxygen in the atmosphere that we all thrive on. But they also, if they grow too many, they create a toxin that's poisonous to it. And the reason they do that is because of nutrients in the water, phosphorus and nitrogen. And those come from sewage and from lawn fertilizer, mostly from sewage, from septic tanks that are not properly treated, or from cesspools which don't get treated at all. We can fix this problem. We know how to do this. And sewers are one answer, but they're very slow. Osterville says it's going to take 30 years to do the sewers. in most of the town. And they're very expensive, maybe $100,000 to a hospital. There are many other alternatives, alternative septics that there's a concept called urine. Don't worry. It's possible also to have urine diversion, to divert all the urine rather than putting it in the drinking water in the toilet, to divert it and use it as fertilizer. And that's different than we're used to doing it, but it would solve the problem of having a toxic algae bloom every summer. Yeah, I know there are certainly ponds in Osterville that have the same problem. But that's the end of upbeat note. You know, one of the things that we try to avoid is having trash in the pond. And when you're out of a canoe, I'll take a grabber and reach down, get the beer cans, or a plastic bottle, water bottle, whatever's on the bottom, and take it home and recycle it. But about a year ago, this group called Old Ladies Against Underwater Garbage, which is an organization in Falmouth, they came to our pond to see if they needed to dive and help us get rid of our trash. And they found so little trash in North Pond, they said, it's not worth our time to come here. So I don't think I can take all the credit, but it is a good news story. The life of North Pond. What if I passed into heaven? I run that doors. Thank you for your attention. I'm happy to take any questions that come up. Comments, sir.
Where can you watch the Harry from?
Have a hands.
Yeah. We're glad to have you. And honestly, the best time is early morning, 5 to 7 in the morning. Steve has graphed, you know, when we've seen the fish come, and it's like 80 or 90% are in that block. He was even getting up and going out with a flashlight. If he gets up in the night to use the restroom, he'll go out and check and see at, 2, 3, 4 in the morning. And occasionally you've seen some, but most of them come between 5 and 7. And I just wanted to add to that picture that showed Rosie. She was looking down. She really has figured out that we're there looking for fish. And I don't know how many of you are familiar with Labradors, but one of the stories about how the breed originated was they were selected to accompany the fishermen up north, Labrador and Nova Scotia. And if the fish fell out of the net, the dogs were to go retrieve them. And she honestly, I'm absolutely positive she knows. She's trying to figure out, why are we just sitting here? And then she could tell when we get excited. So she's eventually learned that, when the fish come, that's when we all get excited. It's pretty fun. And it's just really fun to see these little fish.
I used to come down to Brewster years ago, and many days the counts were 1, 2, none. But then they replaced, I haven't counted there in years because they replaced me with an electronic counter. And they get thousands down there, but most of the count is during
Amy invited me back here in May to give an hour talk just on hearing. So please come back if you have that interest. I have a whole bunch of slides about hearing and how to see them.
Can I add add something, Santuit Pond has a herring run and it's accessible, with some really great trails. If you come in off of, Santuit Newtown Road, just past the boat landing to Lovell's Pond, there's a gate on the left.
Oh, okay.
And, follow that down and there's some reclaimed bogs that are going natural now. And just keep on going and then you'll come to the pond. And if you keep the pond on your right, you will come to the herring run. And it's phenomenal because they repaired the steps. So it's really cool.
There's a place in Brewster,
That's what she was just saying, 149, she was saying about 149.
and
10 feet off the road,
Okay.
nice little, it's a great
Right.
place to go and look at your.
My
Don't wanna
father
go
used
to the
to
woods
take
there.
us there when we were kids.
Yeah.
and there's one just on the other side of the canal.
Yeah, in
Oh, yeah.
Borndale.
Yep.
In
And
Borndale.
it's got Perry River, isn't it?
That's a good place
Yeah,
to
there was
watch.
There was a hotel there, Herring Run Hotel.
Right.
Well, we're happy to have you, and by the third week in April, we should have both the alewife and the blueback.
Yeah.
So that's, the third week of April to the first or second week of May is probably when you're likely, but just give us a call and if you wanna come. We had a team of counters last year, I think they most got pretty discouraged because they were scheduled as they are across the Cape to count at a specific time during the day. And some saw none at all. Finally, one said, "When are you seeing the fish?" And he came early to see them, and then a couple of them were able to see the fry leave, or the adults leave. Some of them start to leave by the end of May. But, I've talked to fishermen about this, and they say, of course they come at night. They're the only ones that have survived. The ones that came in the day were eaten or
You
fish.
only come for 10 minutes. You
Yeah.
sign up, you come for 10 minutes during an hour. So if and then you can't count again until the next hour. It's only 10.
It's statistical sampling, because there's a fish here, a fish here, a fish here, and then you extrapolate for the whole camp. And that's why you can't do back to back 10 minutes.
And I'm not sure where the location is, Harwich, where they have the counter, but our Barnstable Town herring warden is Chris Nappy. And he said, he got a picture from a friend who's a photographer last year. He said the area near the counter in Harwich was solid. He said it must have been thousands. So it's, intermittently, there's good news that they're recovering, and then you'll have an off year, and then we worry that the trawlers are, scraping them all.
Yeah.
It's very fun.
Yes,
You said that the aquifer only goes down to Hyannis area, is that what
so they haven't, I think I had my, referred release, there's another lands of aquifer for that part of the Cape. But the main big one that we use is around, these Shamus and Falmouth. The one that they're contaminated from the base.
But it does make it all the way to West Young.
Yeah, because
And
I'm
then
from
the-
Harwich, so I didn't know the lower.
Yeah. Yes,
Most of the ponds down here are kettle ponds, because I live on a pond up here in Osterville. And I thought I saw that it was a kettle pond, but it
it's
wasn't.
about a 99% chance.
Go in there.
Yes.
So,
Yes,
A stream that goes in or out of it.
It's not fed by a spring or a stream.
Yeah, underground.
I didn't know that, I just figured it the rain.
Yeah,
Well, I
the
know-
spring, yeah, the spring.
But a spring fed is different from the aquifer, is that?
Right. The aquifer just comes up through the sandy soil. In fact, on our little area of the shore, we're a little bit higher than our next door neighbor, than the third neighbor over, and the third house over was just turned over, and they did a lot of renovating, including they had to redo the septic. And before they could do that, they had to see where the groundwater was. It was only 4 feet down. So you could see how that level in their yard is, it's the same as the surface of the pond.
No, I don't,
And
they don't have
because
basement.
Because it was that short or that shallow, they had to put, elevated leach fields. Raised
Wow.
leach fields.
Ironically, that's why a lot of the, buildings around here don't have elevators, because they can't dig down deep
Right.
enough.
To support them. Well, and then it's sand. Most of it's sand. There's some clay patches, some. But anyway, that's. Well, if I might, we do have a few of Steve's books if you're interested, or you can order them online. And the books we have, we bought from the publisher, but we're gonna sell them and use all the money to go to a, one of the clean water initiatives. The current one we're excited about is what the Green Center in Falmouth is working on, which is urine diversion that Steve referred to. There's quite a bit of that in the news. And I have a handout that shows all the recent links, WCAI, Scientific American, Boston Globe, New York Times. And in fact, NPR on March 12th, which was just Tuesday this week, they had a little blurb on national NPR about the challenges of, the Cape Cod water problem, and that urine diversion would be a quicker, simpler fix. It's not.
If you do go from UMass Press, there's a 20% discount if you use their code.
So if you want them, they're here. If you want to be on a mailing list and have us let you know when the hearing are running, if you want to come count them, you can sign up there. And if you want one of these handouts that talks about where you can learn more about, the urine diversion, links that are already out there. And there's a big discussion with one of the Mass Tech, staff and, Hilda Mangay and Earl Barnhart from Falmouth at the Falmouth Library on the 26th of, I guess that's just next week or 2 weeks. But that's I would say, I think we need to do everything. It's kind of like fighting climate change. We need to do all of the above. Sewers are definitely an opportunity where you have a densely populated area in our village centers and so forth. But when you get spread out, even when the sewer plan is completely finished in 30 years, it's only gonna cover 20% of households in the town of Osterville. So if the rest of us wanna do something, I'm personally not sure I can sign up for a 30-year plan. I would rather have a 5 or 10-year plan. I'm doing the best I can, but anyway, I think that, we're both physicians. Urine diversion is something that's done every day in the hospitals when you're helping people with their kidney issues. It's not hard, it's not expensive, it's a little different from using the facilities that we already had installed, but it's inexpensive and it's quick. And it's liquid gold actually for your fertilizing your yard. So anyway, thanks for listening to that.